Good evening and a warm welcome to the Cannon and Jonezy All Euro show. The Jonesy's not here tonight. I reckon he's still out partying. I reckon he's a bit. I reckon he ended up a bit like the old in the mud. I reckon in the mud. I reckon he partied too hard last night. What do you reckon, Mark?
Yeah, I would say so.
I reckon it might have even been with a bit of like the in-betweeners, mate, making up with all ants in his face and all that stuff.
How was your headache this morning?
Mate, to be honest, it was quite interesting. Last night, I didn't really drink. Like, I had a couple of half-ciders, and then I just done a couple of shots at the end, and that was it. So, yeah, no hangover here. Fresh as a daisy. Soaked it all in. Had a great day, and I'm sure I'll have a great evening as well. And on that note, I'm going to say a warm welcome to my guest. So, good evening, Ryan. How you doing, mate? Have you recovered from last night's last-minute dramatics?
Yeah, pretty much. It's full focus ahead now for Sunday. So yeah, got over it. Watched the highlights back on BBC last night as well, as you do. Watched all the reactions online. Sent you the video as well. Gav got your clip. He made sure you was in that video as well. I sent you the link and all that. But yeah, can't complain really.
And then get put in a compilation as well.
Yep. Yes. I'll send you the link later, but yeah.
Yeah, cheers, mate. Thanks for that. Good evening to Bess. How you doing, mate?
Oh, very well, man. Crazy sporting week, but really good F1 wise, England wise. The ones who support England, okay? The ones who support England. That's what I'm gonna say.
Yeah, it's been a bad week, is it really? With that, and by the way, let's see that t-shirt a little bit more.
Well, this one.
Yeah.
I will. It's got the 100 wins at the back as well, so I can probably take it off a new one. I can turn it around once I go with the second half of it.
Good stuff, mate. Good stuff. A warm welcome to Mr. Tom. How you doing, mate?
Hello, El Smugo and the crew. I don't support Arsenal, and yet here I am on the Cannon and Jonezy show. My lifelong dream has been achieved. So, here we go.
Well, it is all Euros, mate. So you got a bit of a slide out on that one, but yeah. And what was you like when that goal went in last night, mate?
I'll tell you what I was doing. I was in the process of kicking people out of my shop, and then we scored. And then I was like, "No, wait, come back. We scored." Like, I'm not totally heartless, just a bit heartless. So I'll let you watch so I kick them out for extra time. Yeah. So I don't love my job that much.
Brilliant, mate, brilliant. And obviously I've brought you into conversation already, but how are you feeling, Mark? Just over 22 and a half hours after that.
I've got one shot left.
So
I've never supported so many teams in Euros in my life.
You're going to be singing
I've only got one left.
Shaqiri songs.
I'm going to be supporting Rodri in the final, and that breaks my heart. Honestly, it breaks my heart. But I have to do it. So, yeah. But thank you so much for inviting me on and bringing on a non-Arsenal fan, English fan, onto a podcast with me. That's just it's just the biggest kick in the teeth that you could possibly do for me.
Well, no, there is a little bit of a bigger one, and I just want to get your views on something, as I always do. See, when I was watching back this afternoon, so I thought I'd just put on the game quickly and put the atmosphere on and watch the last minute goal and get it with all the glory and all that. And I watched it back and I watched the footage. Then it went to obviously the aftermath of it all, and then they show some footage of obviously when the goal was scored with the commentators. And Ali McCoist was there giving it a clap and a big old kind of a fist pump. It looked like to me.
Was he?
Yeah.
So what did he do?
I'll tell you what. I'll find the footage for you, mate, and I'll send it over so you can see it yourself. But I reckon Ali McCoist has turned allegiances.
Do you know what? He's not seen no light whatsoever. He's not seen
Mate,
no
he was
light
definitely
whatsoever.
clapping, mate. He was 100% clapping the goal, mate. That's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say about that.
Liam, I watched back the footage of last night as well, and I seen the clips of your goal celebration. And honestly, bro, I've not stopped crying all day.
Yeah, he was trying to talk to us about the Jonesy's or Jonesy's background stuff. And all that.
Yeah.
Mate, I'm going to be totally honest. I was just going, yeah, because it was the 89th minute of a European Cup semi-final.
I was just trying. I honestly, I was talking about that because I just thought we were edging towards extra time. I was like, yeah, come on, Holland, you could do it in extra time, and then bang.
Yeah. Sadly for you, it didn't go to extra time, and greatly for us, it did. What we're going to do, we're going to have a look at a bit of the lineup that obviously come out for Sunday. Sorry, I want to say Sunday. I'm thinking about Sunday already, ain't I? Yesterday night's game. Obviously, Luke Shaw, we thought might go back into the team, but he didn't. Guai did go back into the team though, in the space of Konza, who I thought played really well in the quarterfinals against Switzerland. It was pretty much the same, wasn't it? I'm going to go over to you, Mr. Tom, first with the lineup. What was your thoughts when you see the lineup, and was you optimistic?
Well, it's a similar lineup from what we've been seeing for the last 3 weeks. So, to be honest, I was sat there like, okay, we're potentially in for the most slowest 2 hours of my life. Because you know how it is. But no, give them credit. They let's be fair, by far their best game. Even when they went behind, it was almost like Southgate had. So I might be getting ahead of your schedule on this, but it just felt like very un-Southgate like in a lot of his decisions because they turned out to be the correct ones.
Yeah, I think the thing that I expected pretty much the team to be where it was. I did want to see. I'll be honest, did want to see Luke Shaw in the team, but I think it was a bit of a gamble not putting him in the team. But now I think it probably looks like a gamble well paid off because he only played 45 minutes yesterday. He played around 45 minutes the previous game. Do you think that he will get put in for the final?
It's hard to say, but by the same token, Liam, he's the only player to score for us in a final since Sir Jeff. So I know you can't really go by that, but just we'll see what he does.
Yeah, definitely. And just going to go to you, Ryan. Obviously, we watched it live on air. Good first half, I thought. After obviously that kind of misplaced. Well, it was a bit of a slip, he lost the possession, didn't he, Declan Rice? A little bit of a slip as well. But you can't take anything away from obviously the finish. But after that, I thought we reacted really well. And as Mr. Tom said, I thought that first half was our best half of the tournament.
It's been the best half of football for not just a tournament for a long time, since we qualified for this tournament via the qualifiers way back in November, whenever it was. But it was just, as you say, the reaction was, I think, from a semi-final point of view, 1-0 down to Holland. They're a good team, but they're not what they once were, the talent they have at their disposal nowadays compared to what they had. I think we can all say we had apart from Mark, we had the fear factor of this could be a long night because in the tournament itself we haven't seen them react straight away to adversity as a team. You see the individuals like Saka the other day against Switzerland, or Jude eventually, and was it against Slovenia or Slovakia in the first knockout round and things like that. There's an eventual, but it's an individual thing. This is a collective from everyone, even though there's a couple still that are still a bit. I personally still wouldn't start them, but I know Gareth will. And I know your thoughts on certain and them same players as well. But I can't sit here and actually complain about their reaction because they actually just woke up. It gave them a wake up call. Maybe because of how early it was, it gave them that kick up the arse to realise, oh, this is a semi-final. They're serious. They're not going to just roll over for us. And then we started creating, and eventually got the penalty, which the people found it dubious, and this, that, and the other. But it's what it. Then I think I think you touched on it last night actually, whilst we were watching the game while they were checking. It was very similar to when Declan Rice against Tottenham at back end of the season. Players coming along, he's kicked the air, followed through, and touched the player as he's gone down. Got given a penalty. So really, why consistent was have to give the pen. And again, Harry Kane stepped up, slotted it in, but the team kept going. It wasn't just, we're back in the game now. That's it. We're just going to play for penalties now and just drag the game out. Behind 5 minutes in that first half, after that equaliser, they kept going. They created, and you could see something might be coming. And even Kane had more influence in that first half as well. He was more, not just a penalty, but his out open play. He was actually more involved, and he was getting stuck in a bit more and being more influential within the game in a positive sense, instead of what we've seen for God knows how long, with like he was coasting and waiting for the moment to come to him.
Yeah, I just want to say to Gavin, I tell you what, mate. If we win the Euros, I'll do a whole chorus live on air for Gareth Southgate, but I'm not doing it till he wins the tournament.
I will say, apologies to Gav. I did forget to put the timestamps in, so hence why it took a while. But yeah,
well, mate, I'm glad he spent a long while looking for my footage, mate. That's what it needs to be. Yeah, no, I totally agree with you. I think there was a lot more influence from a lot more players in the first half. I felt the only weakness for us in the first half was over that left hand side again, and it was interesting because it was actually our best half. And when at the start of the second half, I see a lot more from our left hand side, but obviously our play started to deteriorate. And for me, I'll stick by what I kind of said live on air was that when you play 2 games, 120 minutes in the space of 5-6 days, and then you're on the verge of playing for another one, and you haven't really got the midfield support to bring on, because you're not going to take off Bellingham. You're not going to take off Declan Rice because there's no one to replace him, if we're being totally honest. It probably Bellingham's more replaceable. Declan Rice in this team at the moment is not replaceable whatsoever. And for me, his performance in the second half was a very tired performance. And reflecting on it, I'll give him I won't say give him shit last night, but I was quite honest in terms of what I thought of his performance in the second half. But I do think that is literally down to very much tiredness. And I do think if that game had gone into extra time, I think we'd have struggled big time. I think we would have absolutely struggled in that extra time, because I think legs would have gone. And I don't think we're going to realise until, I guess, Sunday evening at 10 o'clock at night how crucial that goal was. Obviously, it was crucial enough to get us to the final, but if we win it, it's going to be probably one of the most crucial goals, probably from a long time in any kind of English style of football, because I don't think England would have won in the extra time. I think Holland would have overrun us. They were countering. We see it in the last 20 minutes. We look very vulnerable on the counter attack. I thought Holland were really poor, but they looked dangerous. It was weird. They were dangerous, but their final ball and their final product too many times in that game was actually quite woeful. And there was a lot of misplaced passes from them as well. So I don't think Holland played well whatsoever. I think we probably made them look a little bit better in the second half, and it became a bit more of a physical tussle as well, because they brought obviously Weghorst on, who we know is going to what he's going to do, and he was just trying to ruffle us up a little bit, and obviously trying to just win flicks and all that and get profit from it, but. They look dangerous. They look dangerous in that last 20 minutes. But even though they look dangerous, we probably had the 3 best opportunities in that last 20 minutes. Like Cole Palmer, I think he had an opportunity, didn't he? Which he obviously smashed over. Saka had the goal disallowed, which was inches offside from Walker, and then we scored the goal. So even though we was really tiring, we were creating. That's what I said to you, weren't it, Mark? I can still see us creating chances, but it was the other end, which was the issue. And I'm going to go over to you, Mark, on this one. With Declan Rice now, it's a short time in it to recover. So in 4 days, Spain are going to have an additional day. They probably haven't played as many minutes as a lot of these players have. Will it be crucial coming into Sunday?
I would think so, but watching Spain, like I did in the qualifiers, and I keep saying this on every podcast, I think England will have too much. So I don't even think the minutes are going to matter, if that makes sense. That's already been played. Again, when we went back to the last podcast, I think if you had France, I'd be more confident that there's no chance that you're going to win it. I honestly believe 100% England are way to win this tournament. But Liam, just coming back, one thing I didn't realise about you since I started doing the podcast was how good a singer you were.
Okay.
Yeah, that's certainly up there. You're not on my podcast list this week because your singing was actually
Okay.
amazing. And the second point as well, do all English fans have to start turning in and realising that Southgate is probably getting this right?
I think.
Answer.
I think he got it right. He got it right in the end last night. He made the substitution, and he's got to get a lot of credit for that because even live on air after about 70 minutes, like when is he going to make this substitution? Kane has to come off. Do you know what I mean? I think I called it, didn't I? I said Kane and Foden. I think we said Kane, Foden, off, get Palmer and Walker on. We kind of realised early in the game that probably Tony weren't the right player for this kind of game. It was going to be Ollie Watkins because the movement. And when you think of someone like Van Dijk and all that, especially at an aging centre back, he's springy step, isn't he? Like we didn't really need someone to come on to bully the centre backs in that last 20 minutes. We needed someone who could get half a yard in front of their centre back, and that's literally what he did. Watkins with a goal, didn't he? He got half a yard, and he shot it, and boy, what a finish it was! So. Southgate to last night, I'm going to give him a lot of credit because, and I hope, but this is what I hope, and I was thinking about this day, I hope this gives Southgate confidence going into the final. If he needs to make that change again, he will do something like that. And is it a little bit where Southgate hasn't got the confidence in himself at times to make them substitutions? I don't know.
It's a fantastic point, but if anyone that has not watched last night's stream, we are waffling a bit, just speaking, football and all the rest of it. But we did call everything that happened all the way through. Liam actually said we are very poor in the second half, but we look like we are going to score late on. And you did call Ollie Watkins as well. Everything was called last night.
Mate, don't give me a bigger head than I've already got, mate. Don't do that, please.
Yeah.
No, but
I'm setting you up for your fall on Sunday, bro.
Yeah, I know what you're doing. I know what
you can say that. Did he put like an envelope through your letter?
Well, mate, I won't tell you the kind of deal we've got going on.
All right. I just had to make sure.
I think he promised 3 gigs next season. That's all he promised. It's all good.
I don't even think it was rocket science last night, was it? I think probably most England fans were calling that, if I'm being frankly on the show, because we were getting the chances. I just think that sometimes we just need a striker that can make a bit of movement and open up gaps as well. And that's what Watkins done, didn't he? He opens up movement, he opens up gaps, he makes movement, and he can bring other players in. And there was no like that last 10 minutes, even though we was on our floor, we created 3 good opportunities in that last 10 minutes. So, like, if we can create 3 good opportunities, playing like that and being absolutely dead on our feet, like. Why can't we do that?
Liam, this guy has not even played 10 minutes, bar the 10 minutes he played last night in this tournament.
I think he won't start Sunday. We know that. Kane
honestly, it's just the people need to soak that in. Ollie Watkins has not kicked the ball, bar the 10 minutes that he got last night.
Good evening to Lauren, who's in the stream. Who would have preferred an England-Germany? Well, I would have loved an England-Germany fight. I would have loved beating them on their own backyard. That would have been good, wouldn't it?
Cooler if it was an England-Liechtenstein final.
Mate, do you know the worst thing? We'd lose it though, wouldn't we?
Now you put it like that.
We're doing Iceland all over. I'm going to go to Bess because I haven't brought him in yet. So, Bess, in terms of obviously the England performance in a whole over the 90 minutes, do you think they shaded deserve to win it?
For me, yes, because as I said in the previous podcast, regarding England, in full fairness, Gaza, for me, showed last night. I only watched the highlights very much because I was working, so I watched the highlights. He brings on, obviously, Watkins, which I'm a big fan of, and I'm proved right every time I like him. Nothing is Palmer because he plays with Chelsea. Both as well, how they linked up for that goal just showed me Gareth has a bit more, hopefully, touch wood, has the ability to make these subs when they're called upon. Because you see how, example, Watkins, he's that fox in the box, and the way he calls the defense open, and he just makes a shot and it just goes in. For me, he does a lot more. I can say this word, the hard work more than King. He seems to be more of a old-fashioned striker, just goes in between the sticks. It doesn't matter if it's a header, if it's by a foot. Cole Palmer as well, from us on the highlights, he seems to be more, let's say, he likes like kind of draft in from that little kind of like sucker position that he does for Arsenal, just laying that ball and just the strike and finish it off. For me, Pickford, I'm surprised he's being G'd up. He seems like, for me so far, don't jinx that, I promise, but it seems Pickford seems a type of like player as well, who's that fueled up, fired up, and he makes some good saves on that period before, I think it was before the goal. I say we because I have to say we now.
Yeah.
Before the Watkins goal, we like simply the way he just saved it, stay calm, resolute. What was it called? After something disappointing as well. I know. I don't want to talk about too much. It's not fair for me to talk about it for both parties. But the way kind of like the players are funding after England were like sort of penalties, we say, they approach referee in a manner which I kind of don't like. So I feel like Van Dijk tried to approach it and say, I'm the captain, can I speak? But at the same time, that all that pressure referees have now, despite the referee what he's known for, this current one as we know, which I don't want to talk about too much, because it'll seem political for me if I say too much about it. But somehow I just feel like the players need to realize the refereeing job is not easy. Sometimes you need to let them think, as he did when he was, let's say, that Saka was on offside goal, the penalty goal, I guess he checked it, he gave it. I mean, that's his job. But I'll say this with Southgate, again, I don't want to jinx anything, but I hope he does. Just simply he needs to be just ruthless. You need attacking, you see you need it, bring them on. You need a defender, bring him on, Don't basically crumble. Don't suffer like you have in the past, as we know. And also, well, if you have a plan A, if it's working, as we said before, stick to it. If it's not working, try and chop and change, but don't ruin that dynamic, as we know with Arsenal. So simply for me yesterday, also again in the highlights, he seems to be a bit more lifted as well. That I don't know, hopefully again, I'm not going to jinx anything, but hopefully he's learning his lessons, from previous instances that clearly you have a good plan, stick by it, but please, you have players behind you. They will be behind you because they have to be. He's a nation. Now, he's not, like I say, a toxic club that just, everyone's going to just burn themselves, say, oh, I don't like this one because he plays for the club. Or I don't like this one, he's from this neck of the woods. For me, what impressed me as well, how now, as a unit, the whole England squad have actually gelled pretty well. So far, thank God, there's been anything bad tabloid press as always, with the English, British media could say, always there's something they don't want to say, but thankfully, in that side, nothing's been said, so I'm quite happy to see that. The camp is in good spirit heading to the final. So for me, I'm as a adopted country, I'm happy to see them do quite well, in the sense that they're keeping their head down, but they're letting football do the talking, which is always refreshing to see a nation who suffered along those years, and to see them again kind of almost return back to their old selves, shall we say?
Yeah, no, I think the camp's definitely in a good situation going into the final. Like when you sit there and think that we're all sitting here saying that we've had a really poor tournament in terms of our performance, but you tell me another nation that's experienced a 94th minute equaliser to keep them in the tournament, a penalty shootout win, and then a 90th minute winner in a semi-final. Like, yeah, it hasn't been great, but we've actually had some absolutely incredible moments in this tournament. And I guess going over to you, Ryan, and obviously firstly I just want to say to Mr. Morgan, I heard Arsenal were looking at bringing in two strikers today. So that'd be brilliant, wouldn't it, if we brought in Watkins and Tony? I reckon I'd be their agent. But Yeah, just get back onto it in terms of obviously the performance going into the game and obviously coming out of the game, and obviously the way we have gone into games and kind of won games in a quite dramatic fashion. It just seems to me now when I start looking at it that, and I shouldn't say this, and maybe I'm not going to say it as it goes, but I'm not going to say what I was going to say, but there's a lot riding at the moment in terms of momentum for England.
Yeah, I guess so. In terms of, I think as we could say, we can all agree. Even the most diehard English supporter will say performances haven't, for the majority of this tournament, haven't been their best. But I think Cesc Fabregas on the BBC at the start, I think it was the day before we actually got our first game underway against Serbia, said he believes England will win it, but it's not going to be swashbuckling in terms of turn up and push everyone aside. Teams that normally win it, and he included his team when he won it with Spain in 2008. They built themselves into the tournament. They had to grow into it and ease themselves, get themselves to the point where the confidence kept growing, and they had their moments. They had their famous penalty shootout win. They had a terrible record of penalty shootouts at that time. And they went to a penalty shootout against Italy, and I think it was at the quarterfinals to get to the semis, and they won it comfortably. 5-3, I think it was, and he was part of that. He scored the winning penalty himself. But he said there was them moments that get you start believing in yourself as a unit, as a team. And I think going back to last night with Ollie Watkins, I've seen the interviews today from England themselves in terms of their social media stuff and they do and all that every day. And they had him and he said, look, I almost forgot myself, but at half time, me and Cole Palmer doing bits and passing to each other, and we both agreed that we get on, we're going to be involved in winning this game, and we'll get one of us will score, and one of us will assist each other. Either way, we're going to win this for it. And they said to the rest of the people on the bench that if that does happen, we're all going to run over to you and we'll celebrate because we are a team, and we're all part of this movement basically. And he said when he did score, he almost forgot he had to literally look and realise, oh yeah, they're over there, and run over there. And that, again, that itself, we've said for years, all these great teams we've had over the years, in years gone by, like the Beckhams, the Gerrards, Lampard, Scholes, and all that, they were never. It was never felt like a team collective. It was what the individual could do for themselves themselves at the big stage and all that. Whereas it seems, again, credit to Gareth on this side of things, he has built that unity within the group. It's not no matter what he does, getting into that later. The players still have each other's backs. They still look out for one another. And just going back to what you basically asked is. I think the momentum, as you say, momentum is massively in our hands. It's all down to us now. Spain won't be easy. I don't think it's going to be as easy as people might think because this is a Spain squad that struggled to get qualified for this tournament. Let's not forget. But in this tournament, out of the big nations, have been the better team consistently was until the last two games. I think they've. I reckon an appearance because certain people have appeared in the chat now, haven't they? For the live viewers.
Guys, I just fancy a biscuit at the moment.
Well, yeah, but just be clear.
I know, Jammy Dodger.
Sorry, Mark. I know it's rude to do it on air. Sorry, but I'll put my Jammy Dodger away.
For the listeners and what's the
short bread biscuit, my son.
So basically, we've got our intimate, a very happy Scott in the chat, and she's calls us Jamie Dodger, so as we will, and Liam spotted her, and he's like, hi.
No, but he's got to stop buying them. He's got stocks in them now. He's investing all his money in them.
He's getting the merch and everything for Sunday ready.
Can I say something just quickly, though? I mean, are we allowed to carry Spanish flags around for Mark anytime soon?
I started last night, bro. As soon as the final whistle went,
he'd be painting the wall.
Not against you personally. I saw that Paddy Power tweet, so I was thinking of you. So probably get to put a flag on.
Yeah, 100%.
Unless you thought of you straight away. I don't have to say about this.
Sorry, yeah.
I've got one chance left. One chance left. I've never supported so many teams in €1 in my life. Honestly, it's getting.
Sorry, to summarise though, yeah, I think momentum is massively in our favour. I think we as fans have just got to get behind the moment and enjoy the moment for what it is. It'll be the second final in 3 years in the European point of view. Surely the players, especially the players that were involved 3 years ago, they're going to want to use that pain they went through and try and turn it into a positive. So fingers crossed, touch wood, and hopefully we have a very upset Rosie and Mark on Sunday watching us with our champagne and everything. But yeah, Tom, you was going to say something as well. Sorry.
Oh no, I was just I was just thinking, as well as the fact that I don't think I've ever seen anyone leave a chat they were in all night faster than Rosie did after England scored. It was
Rosie,
like
you left me. 100%. She left me there to hang. She left me there to hang.
Yeah, exactly. That.
Now you see, and now you don't.
Yeah, it's gonna make a Paul Daniels joke then. But anyway, so I will say though, the players did seem upset until they scored because they've been passing for 6 games backwards. Obviously, I think it was all one big tribute to Calvin Phillips because they were like, "Oh, we know they like us passing to Calvin, don't they?" And they were like, "Calvin would have wanted it like this." And I'm sitting there thinking, guys, he just didn't get selected. He's not dead. Like, come on now, like. Come on now, you can still see him at your parties and all that. But still, if Calvin had played, we'd have won that match 10 minutes before we did. But that's just my fault. That's just my Calvin bias, obviously.
Is it?
I've actually got a dessert in the fridge as well. Right, I was going to eat last night, and I'm a bit disappointed that the guy didn't come on last night. I've got a chocolate brownie in the fridge. And I was going to have it right. And I was going to put a little England flag on top of it.
Save it for Sunday.
Mate, it's definitely waiting for Sunday, mate. It's definitely waiting for Sunday. And what I'm going to have is, right, Jamie Dodgers is sitting there during the game, and then we win it. Then I'm going to get Sarah to bring out me a nice big chocolate brownie, loads of ice cream, and I'm going to pop open all the champagne. And then I'm going to sleep Monday morning.
Do you have any room for any guests on Sunday?
Yeah, the thing is, if we win this on Sunday, you won't be able to walk for a week. Your bar will be empty.
Yeah, it will be. Yeah, it will be. Just obviously, just to go back to a question. Before I go to this question from Lauren, I was gonna. Do you know what I was gonna liken this run to a little bit? You might laugh at me here, but this reminds me of Manchester United's FA Cup run at the moment. It reminds me Man United this season. This season, right? Look,
no, this year. Oh, this season.
This year, Man United's Cup run this year. They've obviously had the last minute winner, like they had against Liverpool, give them momentum in the 120th minute. They played shit and won on penalty shootouts when they shouldn't have won. When Coventry had a perfectly good goal, it looked like disallowed in the 120th minute. Got through to a penalty shootout final. Everyone wrote them off. They're going to play Man City. Man City are going to walk all over them. That's all I'm saying at the moment. That's all I'm saying. I mean, everyone who's sitting there thinking it's foregone conclusion that Spain are just going to turn up. Football don't work out like that. And I think, Ryan, you hit a really good point on the edge here, right? There's going to be quite a lot of players who experienced their heartache 3 years ago. And do you know what? I'm glad we got quite a few players there. Unfortunately, Calvin won't be there, Tom, but but I'm glad they're going to have that experience in there. But they're also going to have that heart. They've got it in there that they don't want to go through that again. They knew what it was like to come out the other side of it. I think that's a big invaluable experience for Sunday. I really do.
Wade, do you not think that what England are doing at the moment is more like 98 treble for Man United? If you cast your mind back to that period, the FA Cup final, it was 98, unless I've got the year wrong. FA Cup...
99, they won a treble, Man United. 98 was our year.
Yeah.
Oh, right, okay, 99. But is that when Giggs scored in the FA Cup against us.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then Spurs bottled it in the last game of the season to give them the title before they beat Bayern Munich. That's kind of luck that England are carrying at the moment.
Yeah, I'm not having none of that, mate. I think the United Cup run's a better comparison, mate, at the moment. It's not that Coventry semi-final. But do you know what? They are carrying luck, but sometimes you need luck, don't you? Sometimes you need luck. To win a cup tournament. Like, how many times have we played and we've had no luck and then lost when we should have won? So it kind of swings around about us, I guess, in a lot of ways. But I do think at the moment there's a lot of momentum.
Name a game. Could you name one game when that's happened?
What's that?
That England have played well and should have won and didn't.
I thought we should have beat Germany in 1996. There you go. There's a semi-final.
We
should have definitely won that, mate. And if Gascoigne's toenail if he had grown a toenail them the last few weeks before he played that game and left his toenails as long as anything, he'd have scored that goal and we'd have gone for a golden goal. I honestly think we played good enough to beat Germany in 96.
Argentina game too. The one with the Owen goal. We probably should have beat them.
Just for the people in the chat, but we are talking about 28 years ago and 26 years ago, by the way. Just for the record. No grudges. Nobody's holding a grudge on this podcast whatsoever. But,
that's all right. Let's talk about a World Cup second round game where Scotland played really well and didn't win.
Do you know what? I want to bring it back to club football. I want to bring it back to club football. Can I visit you at Elland Road next season?
You can, but I don't know if you'd want to pay our prices in the Championship. They're a bloody rip-off. You'll be getting robbed, Mark. And I don't want to see you get robbed.
But you'll be getting a kind of free Red Bull on entry, though. That's the main perk.
There could be worse ones.
Old Colonel already in here. I'm throwing rods at Gary. This is a Euro show, not showing the Cup of America. God, that was a bit of a
change for him. Makes sense for him saying blah 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 soccer.
Yeah.
So thank you.
I'm going to go back to you, Tom, just on obviously that Lauren's last question about Phil Foden. Much improved performance first half yesterday. Desperately deserved the goal, but yet again, I've got this kind of philosophy now that he's probably been built around a Man City team as a kid, and he's used to having it all his own way in terms of possession football and all that, and probably doesn't struggle much in terms of games. So, do you think that's a part of why he's struggling a little bit?
I think it's a part why they're all struggling in the context that they're being asked to play a style of football they don't usually play on a weekly basis, because they basically all generally play for teams that tend to do well, and when you're doing well, you tend to be an attacking unit. And they're being asked to be a defensive unit. And I personally think, sorry, this is a slight deviation from the question, but I promise we'll get to it. It feels like they're a bit like, like a busman's holiday, where it's like, we're away from the actual manager that we do respect, and we're now with this guy, and we're going to do what he tells us to do, but we're not actually going to put the effort in, because it doesn't actually matter if we don't, because then we go back and earn our 200 grand a week under Pep and Arteta and whoever, sort of thing. But to be fair, Foden was much improved last night, but he would have had to have done really well to be worse than he has been in the previous games. So, I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, nah. To be fair, he did deserve a goal in that first half, didn't he? That shot that he curled in onto the crossbar would have been probably one of the goals of the tournament if it had found its way in.
Yeah, it's true.
So there's still that thing inside me that thinks that he's ready to peak. Could he take the finals his chance? I think Phil Foden is a big game player. I think he's proven that for Man City, definitely last season. So the stage is set for him, isn't it?
I think he'll be sitting there going, God, I hope Sunday's the best game of my life. God, I hope Sunday's the best game of my life, kind of thing. But it's up to him to make it that way. It's not up to me to declare it and go, you know what, Phil? I think you should have a really good, like Stevie Wonder's probably never watched football in his life, but he could probably stare at his TV and go, I bet he hopes he has a good night tonight, sort of thing. I don't even know where I'm going with this, but basically Phil Foden knows what he needs to do. Yeah, I shouldn't need to tell him. I will. Check,
Interesting, Ronnie. You like have a 50 chance of winning on Sunday, but I think your downfall will be the 16-year-old Spanish prodigy. I just want to obviously let you know, by the time he lines up for Spain on Sunday, he'll actually be 17 years old. Rosie, it's his birthday on Saturday, so I'm sure you'll be sending him all the birthday greetings that you'll wish for him. Wish him a great weekend, etc., etc. But it is a 50-50 final. I totally agree with that. But I'm going to go over to you, Mark, on this one. So I'm quite interested to see what you think.
Yeah, sorry.
Even though there won't be a lot of pressure on him on Sunday because he's just a kid and they'll try and obviously manage that. There is the part still that he hasn't ever experienced a European final. Like maybe a couple of them. Could that play against him in some ways, especially against an experienced side that have got Champions League winners in the team that play cup finals, probably season in, season out? It's a totally different ball game Sunday, isn't it?
Yeah. So sorry, we are speaking about Yamal. I was listening, guys, to like my phone's moved. Yeah. Sometimes, in my history of watching football, sometimes kids are just fearless. They just don't know what's happening. They don't, like, you could have Harry Kane will know what he's going into. Declan Rice knows what he's going into. Sometimes these kids just are, just nothing whatsoever. And if he was fearless, would he have produced that goal in the semi-final?
It was France. Just to say.
It was a screamer.
It was a great goal. Don't get me wrong. He was given all the time in the world to have to show.
But you can think more going into a final, can't you? You can think more going into a final.
Do you get my point, though? That sometimes kids are just, they don't think at all. Yep. It's like they're not all the system. It's not all the system.
I was a kid that didn't think once.
I'm still that person. That's why I'm on a podcast when England are about to win the Euros. What are you doing?
Right. What I suppose what I'm trying to get is that obviously between now and Sunday is really important, and they will have players and they'll have coaches start to do that to really kind of keep these youngsters grounded, won't they? Because let's be honest, right, all that kid will be thinking about now is literally Sunday. Do you know what I mean? It's probably like when we used to wake up thinking it's going to be Christmas Day. Do you know what I mean? That's how he's kind of thinking again in Sunday. And sometimes when you think like that and start going into a game like that, it can become totally different as such.
But Liam, see, against the rest of the players that are in, like for both teams in the tournament, the media are not against him. And I think that's a major, major part.
But
I think that's
the media's only against it. The media's like the problem.
The Spanish media will be going at them right now. They'll be doing
the media can be against him though. Like, I'm not sure how the media can be against him. Like the media weren't against Wayne Rooney.
No, I'm not saying Yamal. That's the point I'm trying to make. They'll not be against Yamal, but they'll be against every other player, or they have done in the past. So these players will struggle mentally going into that game. Where Yamal, life's fine, he's not under that stress. Where Saka, Kane, the rest of the England team, you know what's coming. You feel in this final, you know what's coming next. And that's the point. And I think Yamal's going to be fearless on Sunday. He's my saving grace. I'm going to get a tattoo with him. I'm going to get a tattoo on my...
You're back in the play who buried a 25-yarder into the top corners. I totally get it. I totally do get it. In a sense, but I think probably the difference is Sunday. I think England was set up a much different way to obviously what France set up, and I think we definitely would have three at the back. And I think you'll find on Sunday with our midfielders where they have to be. I think they'll have to be quite restricted at times, won't they? To kind of cut out that space to allow players like himself to kind of be able to do that. So, and it's something that, if I'm being totally honest, I don't think we've managed pretty well in this tournament. Is at times when the opposition have got the ball and are counter-attacking us. I think that's when we look at our most vulnerable. But I'm expecting probably Manu and Rice to be a little bit more kind of restricted on Sunday to ensure that the space is not there, given to the likes of him to be able to do that. Do you know what I mean? Because they'll be very weary of obviously what he's produced already so far. And when you've got, is it Daniel Alma as well? Like he's been absolute breath of fresh air in his tournament as well. Get him on the ball, get him into areas like he did with the second goal with his quick feet. It's another danger as well, isn't it? So we're going to have to be, England is going to have to be really defensively, tactically on it Sunday to stop that from happening. I think this Sunday, I think it is going to be a really, really tight tussle.
I think it's going to be. I think it's more going to be more interesting as well. Who starts left back out of Trippier or Luke Shaw? If it's Luke Shaw starting, we have more hope. I think again, Trippier's. I don't know what it is in terms of he just can't get out of this funk for this last 12 months, but it isn't working. And I think the fact that him and Walker constantly getting caught out, and Trippier hasn't got the pace anymore like he may have done 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah,
that's what. Whereas Luke Shaw, he's not most athletic, so we say in terms of physique, but he'll do a job. He knows his role. He knows he got the football brain to switch on and go. This guy's got pace. So I'm going to go so far, but only so far. So if we do lose possession, I can track back and keep in line and not leave him a massive gap to run into. Because I think that's the main reason why he's great. The great little talent that looks for it, potential going forward as well. Ceiling's going to be interesting for the next 10 years or so. But France gave him all, not just one player, 3 or 4 players had the opportunity to close him down, and they all gave him all the time in the world to get that ball under his control, look up, open up the body, and have that shot off. I don't think our defence, in general, or the midfielder, or Manu or Rice will give him that time. And it's all about literally targeting certain players in terms of before a game, these are the players who've got to mark out the game. And I think obviously he'll be one of them. And also that midfield, the one thing we haven't touched on is that midfield battle between Manu and Declan against Rodri. And I can't remember. I don't know who their part. I can't remember.
Is it Reece?
We're after him. No, not his name. Arsenal have actually been linked with him.
But I think that's going to be the interesting one. Whoever wins that midfield battle, is going to have to will then twist the edge for that said team then to go on to win it.
But do you know what? Right, I honestly think if England can stifle their midfield, then I think England win the game, because I think if they stifle the midfield, I think that's where you've got to stop them. You've got to make sure that first of all you stifle the midfield to stop them from playing their game. And if you do that, you stop their wing play. And let's be honest, like the forwards we've got to the actual central forwards we've got to the central forwards they've got, I wouldn't swap all day long. I think you need to exploit them. I think set pieces, crosses, I think it's going to be a big thing on Sunday if we're going to obviously try and hurt them. I think if you look at France's first goal, I think that identifies that. They're defensively not that great whatsoever. They can't be. They lost to Scotland 2-0. Just putting it out there. But then that's the other reason why here he is. He had his camera off. See how quickly that came on.
Yeah.
Hang on. Yeah.
If they win, if Spain
I know
win,
where you're going with it.
We pointed this out last night. If Spain win the Euros, I will come on here and point out the fact that we beat them and should have beat them twice in the qualifying. And you guys could not do it.
But you could be angry.
Will that make you the true winners of the Euros, Mark?
1,000,000%. As a Scotsman, we take that. We take that every day of the week.
Yeah, I've never seen someone jump onto a screen so quickly in there. Reeled him in, mate. Reeled him in.
But yeah, I'm sorry to cut you off, anyone, but you know the Matrix style when Neo and Agent Smith goes, Mr. Anderson, long time, so that's Mark right there. Hello, Scotland. Oh, I'm right here. Put it back one.
But I do think that if we can exploit them in terms of set pieces, corners, free kicks, do you know what I mean? Get balls into boxes, because we've got the likes of Kane, do you know what I mean? Bellingham that are quite physically in the air. I think we can exploit them there as well. So I do. Even though I think Spain have been probably the best footballing team in the tournament, I do think this is a 50-50 final, and I honestly going to put it out there that I do think the experience of 2021 is going to hold us in good stead for the Sunday. So, yeah, I think I'm quite positive and optimistic about Sunday. I'm probably more positive than I was about Italy, strangely, because I don't know, there was something always a bit weary about it. I think with Italy, we never beat Italy in tournaments, and
it was always that record, wasn't it? As you say,
yeah, it was always in the back of my mind with Italy. They know how to win, don't they? They know how to grind it out and do what they need to do to win a game. But and if anything, we're turning out to be that kind of team now.
William, can I share a really funny story with you? It is funny. I've carried this all the way through my life, and it is funny. I took my son down fishing, and I went to this lake that was designed just that had the rainbow trout in it, and my son hit the water with the fly fishing, and he hit the water, and honestly, he could have put the biggest stone in the world into the lake. And instantly, the rainbow trout bit onto the end of his fly, and he caught one. It was amazing. But I always use this story in life that you could sometimes in life you could throw a cheese sandwich into a lake of rainbow fish, and they'll just bite. I just done the same on your podcast, mate. As soon as you mentioned Scotland, as soon as you mentioned Scotland,
that's a big win, mate. Tonight, that is. I'm going to sleep happy tonight. I'll have a little chuckle just before I doze off.
The cheese sandwich was chucked in, and I came biting.
There might be some cheese sandwiches if we win Sunday. That's for sure.
I'm coming down for the bar, bro. I'm coming down for the bar.
I'll bet you will, mate. Commiserate. Looking at players of the tournament now, just going to go to best first. Like, I know we kind of spoke beforehand in terms of players. We identified loads of players that we thought could be player of the tournament. At the moment, where does your player of the tournament sit?
For me, my saving grace has to be Bukayo Saka. The man has experience. The man has resilience. The man has. There you go. Look, Marco Polo disappears again. Marco Polo, as we know. For me, just Saka overall. I have to say, for me personally, I'll just pick. If you have to give me just one, I just swear to God, Saka just as resilient as he can be. He just seems to carry this monumental feeling himself. He doesn't feel the pressure. He knows what went before. With those. Idiots, sadly. He knows he has experience. He knows he has a fan base at Arsenal that we all love him and cherish him for what he's done for us the last, almost 6 years now. Feels with him, almost forever, When he first joined us as a, youth team player, then worked his way up the ladder. Maybe I'll squeeze quickly. I don't hold anyone's time for this question about kind of squeeze Bellingham as well, because he's obviously had pressure to go from Dortmund straight to Real Madrid. He's set himself quite well, Bellingham as well, to all of a sudden back to England after the other tournament, because he played a bit, I think, in the Euro 21. So I think, for me personally, number one has to be Saka. Just overall, he just amazes me, makes me happy as well, makes me feel as an Arsenal fan more proud to have this guy all around this scene, this current moment. He's just a shining light. He just doesn't give up, and we saw it against Switzerland. The boy just waited the right moment and did an Arsenal goal, made in Arsenal from Declan assist. Couldn't be more happier. So hopefully he carries that on his mind on Sunday, and then hopefully we get another Saka cracker. Would be nice.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think Saka is obviously blossoming, which is the word I kind of use in this tournament. I thought he had another good game yesterday. I actually think the stage is set for him on Sunday, just because of what happened in the Euros, in the last Euros. So hopefully he will. I was just thinking, Tom, as well, I'm going to go over to you. Surely Harry Kane can't lose another final, because this trophy drought has to end. Surely. I'm just thinking of reasons what the barriers that need to be broken.
I don't know. Even a broken clock's right twice a day. So he's got to eventually, hasn't he? I don't know. I play with the tournaments in general, though, and I know these are left field, but I'm thinking the young lad that played for Turkey was quite good in the few games that he played. Pepe for Portugal.
Hato?
I only really know him as the young lad from Turkey. I haven't actually done my research on this. Like, he scored a lovely goal against Georgia, and I was like, "Yep, all right, I'm going to name you later on to make it sound like I know what I'm talking about, even though I don't."
Good.
Other than that, yeah, sure. If that's what his mum named him, sure. But no, but in all seriousness, Pepe was quite solid for someone who in football years is 165. Also, I think the actual player of the tournament is Calvin Phillips, because when the manager of a team that made the final is turning around and saying, "Oh, we kind of need Calvin Phillips," I'm sitting here like, "Oh, that's an interesting statement to make when you wonder why you're not doing particularly well." But still, but in all seriousness, I suppose the footballing standard in general, if we're being honest, has been low and poor, because most of the players are tired in general because they all play too much football.
Yeah, I think good shout with the young Turkish lad. Obviously, massive future he's got with Madrid. But I think in terms of Phillips, you know what? Right, it's an interesting one, isn't it? Because I think it hurts Southgate that he's not in that squad. I think it hurts that what's happened with him in terms of probably going to Man City than what happened at West Ham. It just tied his hands totally up, didn't it? And I'm 100% sure last night Calvin Phillips would have come on in that game. Calvin Phillips would have played a lot of. Calvin Phillips still would have played quite a few minutes in this tournament if he had picked him, because he trusts him. And I think last night, seeing that game out, he would definitely be picked him instead of Conor Gallagher. And I think he would have got minutes. And I just think that his hands have been tied because he hasn't played no minutes. And what happened at West Ham?
Yeah. Which
has she got a permanent club yet?
I can tell you, if a certain team had been more successful at Wembley in May, Calvin Phillips would have had a permanent club this summer. Right, okay. But that particular team will, you know, for argument's sake,
who was that?
We'll call them L United. No, wait, that's too obvious. Sorry, we'll call them Leeds U. Okay, Leeds U, because that particular team absolutely sucks at Wembley and deserved nothing and got nothing. You don't get the big name players that end up being named by the England manager as someone he wished he had on the plane.
Yeah. Anyway, he's not there, but he can go. He can go in the hat. He can go in the hat, nevertheless.
He go in the hat. He ain't gonna win.
I do think Southgate would have loved to have him in the squad still. Going over to you, Mark, in terms of your players of the tournament.
I think Bez was bang on with Saka, 100%. Saka's been phenomenal, and what he's brought to England. And when he stood up and took that penalty, I was begging that he didn't miss. Being an Arsenal fan, of course, I'm going to think that, regardless of being Scottish. But it reminded me of Stuart Pearce. It reminded me of that exact moment for England as Stuart Pearce. And it brought back so much emotion of that feeling when Stuart Pearce done that. But I would put Saka third, Musiala second. The way that boy glided through the pitch is just, I want him at Arsenal. Honestly, I absolute dream to get Musiala in any kind of capacity at Arsenal Football Club. And I think they should be looking that deep right now for signings. But my player of the tournament is Yamal, 16-year-old. And doing what he's doing is just fucking ridiculous. Sorry for the language, but absolutely ridiculous. And I think England have got a lot to worry about. And so does Trippier on Sunday.
If he's fit enough. There's rumours that the reason why he went off on yesterday, was he picked up a knock.
Ooh. Won't be too disappointed about that, Taylor.
Unless you put Saka at left back, then.
No, it's Luke Shaw go left back. Luke Shaw plays Sunday.
Did you know Yamal was 16? No one ever talks about it enough.
It's his birthday Saturday as well, and he's 17.
Is he all right? Okay.
I can't wait for his birthday because then I'll get sick of everyone saying he's 17, but still be a change from everyone saying he's 16. Obviously, I'm not really digging Mark at. It's just more a point of like, it's like when people go, "Oh, don't
It's
you know
ridiculous,
that Cody Rhodes is Dusty's son?" I'm like, no, they never mention it. Like, it'd be nice if you told me something new. I don't know. Someone went, do you know he wears red socks when he plays for Spain? Like, just anything. Anything.
He's no different to Luke Littler, is it? It was no different to Luke Littler in the World Championship. Yeah, he's 16. Yeah, everyone's 16. He ain't 16. He's about 35, really. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. He's lying about his age.
Yeah.
Something's not right there, Luke Littler, mate. I'm not having it. He's 17. Still not having it.
It's ridiculous when these guys are so good.
Yeah, he is unbelievable, and like he has taken the tournament by storm, and rightly he's up there for obviously consideration. Going over to you, Ryan.
I'm gonna go a bit. I'll be different because I've mentioned Saka already. I'm gonna go Mark Gay, centre back for England, Crystal Palace. Considering
that's a good shout.
Before this tournament, he wasn't a starter. He wasn't a regular with Southgate in general. He hasn't had many international caps, if any, prior to this tournament. This is again, with adding to that, this is his debut international tournament for his country, and he has been rock solid. Been arguably our best defender, and he consistent. Even last night, had a little slip just before we scored our winning goal. He had a little slip, but he got himself straight back up, got his body in the way. So that obviously Workhorse couldn't go run through and tap in a winner for them potentially.
Yeah,
that is that attitude, and again, he has just been consistent for us. And in terms of outside of England, there's that I can't remember his name though. I think it's the striker for Georgia that scored against Portugal, the penalty and both goals. I think it was he scored.
Yeah,
that's it. He looks from what we saw briefly, because obviously they didn't get too fast for how they finished in the group and all that, but they looked, and he actually looked really, really good. Like, I know you obviously mentioned Napoli, but you wouldn't be surprised if in the next 12 months or so you hear him getting moved to an Arsenal, Man City, if they, depending on what their situation feels in 12 months' time, a Madrid or something like Bayern Munich. You wouldn't be surprised to step up from, with all due respect to Napoli, from a Napoli to a more established, and he wouldn't be out of place either. It seems like he was slot in and actually do a job consistently there as well. He has that sort of hunger, desire to do well, basically. And I think it's actually a breath of fresh air to say that, again, with all due respect to Georgia, the lesser we're saying that a player from a lesser nation that wasn't expected to do well in this tournament could be is in the conversation for being a potential player of the tournament.
Ryan has given me an idea of one that I do think is a genuine shout for definitely England player of the tournament. I don't know his name, but it's the gentleman that refereed the game last night, because I thought he had a sterling performance. Like,
all things considered.
No, because he actually had. If you hadn't have told me before that he'd been done for match fixing, I'd have gone, I bet he's been done for match fixing, because never a penalty, and then he even threw like a 50-50 with the offside, and I was just like,
Tom, that is you're honestly completely and utterly wrong. Even from a Scotsman, that was a stonewall penalty.
Here we go.
How would you feel if Arsenal conceded that penalty?
They did. Declan Rice done it against Tottenham. It was the exact same thing, Tom. 100%. It was a stonewall. I said it last night. I'm not biased towards England, obviously. It was a stonewall penalty.
I agree.
His studs were like, what we're talking, 3.5 foot off the air when Kane put his foot through. Studs up, straight in, bang. Stone, honestly, every day of the week, that is a stonewall penalty.
tell you what makes me think it wasn't was because he got the shot off. He didn't.
That's why everyone thinks it isn't, isn't it? More
Yeah,
fault, didn't they?
Well, it doesn't matter. There's contact afterwards. See if you watched, who was the player? Was it De Vries?
If you,
Dumfries, yeah.
Yeah, he didn't go. He didn't get anywhere near the ball. His foot goes up, and he misses the ball. And Kane follows through and hits him. I do get that because Kane's foot's obviously
Going that way, yeah.
But that's a stonewall penalty kick. If that is anywhere else on the park, you could even seen a red card. I actually thought it was more shocking that wasn't a red card than maybe it was double jeopardy. Double jeopardy. I don't know if that still exists.
Yeah, I'll tell you why it weren't a red. It's because the referee didn't want to send off a player named Denzel Dumfries because it's a fantastic name.
Yeah.
So you let him stay, don't you? Just probably named him after a favourite actor, his mum, I'm guessing. I don't know.
No, for me, that was a stonewall penalty. I don't even understand any arguments against it, even the slightest. I've seen like even Saka against Bayern Munich. For me, it was accused that he left his leg in, and we didn't get the penalty in the home leg. 100%. That was 1,000,000% a penalty kick.
Well, I'm not going to lose sleep over it being a penalty. I was happy it was given, but I was sat there like, I don't know if I would have liked that if on August 10th, if Portsmouth got that.
See, it was a weird one on there. On there, the shot happened. He went down, and first of all, I was like, Kane's on the floor. Then I was like, oh, wait a minute. If he studied him like he's saying he studied him, soon before we see the footage, I'm like, surely something's got to come from it.
Yeah.
Thinking it, but thinking that ain't going to happen. Do you know what I mean? Because I totally agree with what you say. The amount of times we've seen it happen, but in my opinion, it doesn't matter whether he's hit the shot off. More full Dumfries for doing that was my kind of philosophy at the time. But if he was outside the box and that happened, free kick would be given, and no one would argue the slightest. No one.
And I said that last night, Liam, as well.
What?
But Liam, I said this last night. The exact same thing happened with Porteous for Scotland in the opening game of the Euros against Germany. He went for the ball. He missed the ball. Went straight over, studs in. Me and Colin were doing the live stream on here. He went straight in, over the top of the ball. With his studs, hit the player. He was sent off. And it was a penalty kick to Germany. So, you can't be inconsistent. If you're doing that and not getting the ball, it is a penalty kick. And for me, the only questionable thing was it a yellow or a red?
Here's a bit of a grenade into the conversation there. Do you think maybe the referee and the VAR thought maybe because it's a semi-final, if they sent off Dumfries down, then that's what was it 22nd minute, something like that, 21st minute, give or take?
Yeah.
It could have potentially ruined the semi-final, and obviously if England still went on to win, everyone will go back and say, "Well, you only won because obviously da 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 da," and they didn't want to be. And obviously, with his record, he's a known record, so we say the referee side of things. He didn't want to be in the spotlight of potentially helping out one nation over the other and ruining the semi-final.
1,000,000%. I would go with that. I would 1,000,000% go with that. However, they didn't do that for Scotland in the opening game, did they? So it's...
Yeah, I'm going to quickly come off this one because I'm just going to quickly go through my kind of best players, and then I want to kind of get results, and it's obviously got to do the porridge before we finish. So I'm going to go with Fabian Ruiz for Spain. I think he's been unbelievable this tournament. I think alongside Rodri, and I think usually Rodri gets all the dibs, but he's been absolutely quality for Spain. And half the reason why I think we need to stifle their midfield Sunday is because of the pair. And Daniel Alma as well. I think is another player who's absolutely blossomed in the set coming into the group knockout games, which has been totally proven in their results and his performances. And another one that hasn't been mentioned, surprisingly, and I'm well surprised no one's mentioned him yet, is William Saliba.
Forgot
that one, didn't we, boys? Not one of you. all you three Arsenal boys, and you think he was
Oh.
the best centre back in the world at the
I
moment.
had faith in you.
That's
Yeah,
borderline
you-
racism.
You
That's
wanted me to have that
nationalism.
platform, didn't you? But do you know what? For me, William Saliba is now conquered himself. I'm not going to put. I said the best, but I'm not going to put him up there because I still think he's still got levels to go. But he's definitely, for me, in the top 3 to 5 now in the world. Like
Okay.
absolute. Pardon?
I'll say solid top 3.
Yeah. Well, I'm just not thinking in terms of what other centre backs there are at the moment. But he was absolutely so composed, and this is a centre back who didn't even know if he was starting going into the tournament, because he's got a fall of as a manager with Deschamps. But he went in there and totally bossed it for them. And we're being totally honest, they've been beaten. Their first goal they conceded, in terms of the semi-final, which I think was their first goal they conceded, wasn't it? On open play, was just out.
So,
it had to be something like that to beat them because they weren't beating him any other way. And I just think that he was incredible in this tournament, and I think rightly so. He'll be in the team of the tournament. I'm going to do an outside one as well, and I don't know if anyone's picked it at the moment, but I'm going to go Jordan Pickford.
Okay.
I think he's had a really good tournament, and I think he's stood up when needed. I think he's stood up when needed.
I'm biased against him. I don't like. I'm biased against him.
I don't know. I don't like him, mate. I don't actually like him. But do you know what? Right?
No, but I'm petty. I'm more petty than you, Liam. So
yeah, well,
he could. Right? Jordan Pickford could cure an incurable disease, and I'd still sit there and go, yeah, but you played for the Everton team that cheated and relegated Leeds, didn't you? I'm petty. I'm a small petty man, and I'm happy to be open about that.
No worries. But I am going to still go for him, even though they did relegate you, and I wanted them to go down as well. But I think he stood tall in certain moments of the game for England. I think when we have had the backs against the wall and he's been required on, he's been needed, and that, I actually think, he's one of them players, right? He's not naturally. You wouldn't look at him to be like one of the best goalkeepers in the world, but he just suits England, don't he? He just suits England for what it's a weird situation, but he just suits England, and he does step up for England. He does bring us through. And we got to remember, right, in penalty shootouts against Colombia, against Italy, and against Switzerland, he saved penalties.
Yeah,
he saved penalties. He for me has delivered again for us, and I think he's been very. His experience has told in this tournament when we've needed it. So they're my kind of shout outs. Obviously, there were a couple of others in terms of what you guys have already said, but yeah, I think there's, and sorry, the other one was obviously the German lad, the youngster, Musiala. Unbelievable. He unbelievable. That guy is absolutely.
That's different gravy right there. It's different gravy. I just wish Arsenal could sign him. But Tom, to go back to what you said, I also share small man syndrome, so I get your point.
No, I will give Pickford a small bit of praise. He is unrivaled at shouting at the defence when he wants to deflect any possible blame away from himself in a situation when the other team might have scored or nearly scored. The way he then just launches at whoever his centre back is, unrivaled. And I actually do a polite golf clap to him because it's beautiful. Beautiful one.
Tom, just save it for the porridge list. You can put Southgate on the porridge list for not having Calvin Phillips in goal.
Sorry, there is one other player. There is actually two other players. The first player is the Georgian guy. I thought he was brilliant. I love watching him. Absolute breath of fresh air. The other one, John McGinn.
William.
Did he turn up?
Why are we doing this? William, why are we doing this?
Did he try to bring him?
Hey, mate, he's probably one of the biggest disappointments of the tournament. We talk about disappointments. Yeah. He disappointed me in this tournament.
1,000,000%. Do you know who also produced massively in this tournament? Kivior. I thought Kivior was brilliant.
Yeah.
I thought Kivior was absolutely brilliant in this tournament. I know that he was a penalty giveaway in one game, but apart from that, he had a solid tournament.
What happened to Cody Gakpo last night as well? Told everyone.
Yeah,
He had a good tournament overall, didn't he, Cody Gakpo? But yeah, not last night. So.
Tournament.
Fun.
I mean, no one, as this conversation is showing, the actual amount of players that had a good tournament is actually like you can count it on your hand, even if you know the names. Like,
yeah.
But I've like top scorer, for example, is own goal. Like,
Literally.
and by a distance, own goal. So, but other than that, it's about 5 players on 3 goals.
Yep.
That is
Unbelievable, isn't it?
For like, usually someone will get 6.
Kane's going to bang in 4. You know what surprised me though? Kane going bang 2 in the final and then win it.
Ollie Watkins can win it. He only has to score 2 more, and he'll win by like not playing as many minutes as anyone else.
Yeah.
But
right.
It is what it is.
Right, we're going to go into this one. God, I've literally lost the thing. I was debating whether I use the Gareth Southgate one or the other Porridgeless one, and I think rightly so I'm going to use the other one. So we're going to do everyone's going to have their candidate for Porridge Day list. So I'm going to go to Ryan first this show. Who's on your porridge list? Who was on your porridge list on Monday, by the way?
It was Jermaine Genius, wasn't it?
Jermaine Genius on Monday. So who's on your porridge list today?
Because of his stupid comments against the Labour, going, "Oh, it's just basic stuff. It's so basic. Why you don't go there. Go to the event again." But it's only been a few days, hasn't it? I'm trying to think now. Bloody hell.
My one's winning it, by the way. My candidate's winning it today.
I'm gonna go. Not Vogue, but I'm gonna go Didier Deschamps just because he's an absolute tool. And Saliba, as you mentioned already, showed him after Deschamps' comments back in, was it March, about Saliba's not French quality in terms of what we want from a centre back. He won't be starting, and put Saliba on edge until the very start of the tournament for France. And then it just sat there, but the entire tournament with the face of a smacked backside. And then when they were playing Austria, and they only won 1-0. When he lost Mbappe to a broken nose, he didn't change nothing. And for that, in every game, it just felt like this tournament was, I've got Kylian, he's my man. If he turns up, we're fantastic. And he's Kylian, he's played for Real Madrid now, it's gonna work. And when it didn't, he didn't have a plan B or C or anything. And just to watch that semi-final on Tuesday, and obviously when they went out, he's sitting there stewing, but it's his own doing. And I think I said this previous into this last week into this week. With Didier Deschamps, he's heavily hanged off the coats of the 2016 run to the final in Euros, the 2018 World Cup success. He's heavily relied on that sort of baggage of got him this far. I think everyone knows my thoughts on Southgate, and everyone knows I think he should have gone after the last World Cup. Deschamps should have gone after the last World Cup as well. Even though they got to a final, the signs were there. Players will get retiring and this, that, and the other. This French team that he has isn't a crap French team. In terms of the SF Mbappe, they got Atenya, Griezmann, Williams, Saliba, Akabakano. Kante looked brilliant, by the way, in terms of you wouldn't think he's playing in a lesser league, a lower standard league that he has been for the last 8-9 months. They've got quality players there. He just does. He's got to a point where he doesn't know what he's doing, and I think the arrogance of the man to berate players that are in his squad at the time, and then literally have no plan B option for when Mbappe weren't turning up or wasn't performing, is pretty shameful for an ex-player, by the way, but a so-called World Cup winning player manager-wise, and a Euro runner-up as well for his country. It's pretty shambolic. And in terms of this week, I think there's no one else this week that stands out for me that has to be on that list.
Cool.
Oh, okay, mate. Actually, you know what? I throw in Rosie for disappearing last night as well.
Mate, you're a tosser. I had it all lined up. I had it all fucking lined up.
Honestly,
So I
didn't
might
know
as well
that.
go next now. I might as well go next
Well-
now, guys. I was going to do the big reveal after. But do you know what, right? This sums it up, guys. This sums it up. Rob, I expect you'll matter more happier. Have you thought any more about that bet? Well, if you didn't disappear last night and do the Frank Boff in disgust because England has scored a 90th minute winner, you would have heard me say to you, the bet's on, and I'll have the bet with you. You're on my porridge list this week. You darted out of the room quicker than fucking anything I've ever seen before. Even when I trigger Mark and he comes running in with his camera in, I've never seen someone leave that quick. So yes, the bet is on with this habit Sunday, and you're on my porridge list. Over to you, Bess. Now, who's on your porridge list, mate?
I heard quite a few names, but for me, it has to be Kyle Walker. The man has been hyped so
Good man. Good man.
so much. So I'm not gonna swear at him, but I'm only to say he played for Tottenham, fine. Went to City, like Field of Roses. You come to England, you're correct me if I'm wrong. He's a right back, right? He's a right back.
Yeah, right back. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm thinking, what happens there? Fine, he doesn't go forward. I'm sorry. For me, I don't see for England. It doesn't go forward. I'm towards a football fan right now. I don't want to sound salty because he now plays for City as well, but it doesn't go forward. But now you don't track back. So which one are you gonna do now? You're gonna track back, or you're gonna go forward, or just sit there, think, you know what? Let the other team score. And I saw yesterday as well. That goal, fine, is Xavi Simons. And we know Xavi Simons is quite good, and he was in his knees basically. But surely, man, track back a bit, or at least try and link up with your mate Foden a bit. What was that? That was pure, absolutely garbage for me. That's what I'm saying. Cleanly, PG-13.
Good
but
man.
I'll just say him. The rest I don't know yet, but I'll say him is my porridge list this week.
He got me angry last night, didn't he, Ryan?
Yeah. just a tad. He actually got you more angered than fucking Trippier did, and that's saying something.
Yeah, mate. Walker rolls me up, mate. He rolls me up. Mr. Tom, who's on your porridge list? I'm looking forward to this one.
It's not going to be who you think, because you're thinking I'm going to rattle off about Pickford, but I already took a right the opportunity to do that. So
I'd be disappointed.
Pickford safe. It's gonna be Mr. 16-year-old himself, Yamal, because I'm sick of the sight of him. I'm sick of hearing about him. You'd think he's the only person with a left foot and the ability to put it in the top corner in the semi-final or in any kind of football match. Like, well done, lad. You're a good foot. You're playing for Barcelona. Fantastic. Good luck to you. Good luck to you on Saturday. But I've never had much luck, so that means nothing coming from me. But yeah, so Yamal, whatever it is, but the point is, you're on my porridge list. So
brilliant. And last but not least, Mark, obviously, you had a big candidate on your porridge list on Monday, didn't you? Still there?
Oh, sorry, I should have used my powers. He's already left the room.
He's gone, mate.
Marco Polo, exactly. Marco Polo.
So, what are we thinking then, bet-wise, on Sunday? Cheeky little score?
It's also get me involved now. We've chasing you for the last week. Now she's got you reeled in.
Cheeky little score on the old England?
Yeah, why not?
It's all sport here, isn't it?
It's easy money.
I do apologise, gentlemen, but I'm afraid I do have to leave you because I have I have my weekly wrestling show at 10 p.m. But I do genuinely appreciate you offering me the opportunity to come on. It was nice meeting Ben. Finally seeing Mark face to face or face to M. Doing his thing, isn't he? But he's a good lad. He's a good lad, really, even though he is Scottish. I mean, it's not his fault. It's not his fault where he came out of. Anyway, so that being said, thank you, everyone. Very kind.
Cheers, mate.
Rosie, but I'm leaving for a prior appointment. You left early because you just didn't like a ball going past the line and into a goal. bit different, love. Part of my language. So, Yeah. They are quite tasty, though, surprisingly.
They're lovely. They're lovely when they're to be eaten. Yes.
Yeah. I mean, she's actually got a prediction of foresight because she's predicting the quality of the show that I'm about to perform. So anyway,
Oh,
that's
bloody
very
hell.
kind of you. But no, seriously, thanks, guys. I
No worries.
would just do it again, but you'll be mainly doing Arsenal, so I'll be washing my hair and all that kind of stuff. But anyway,
Well, mate, if we win it, mate, we're here Monday night, mate. If we win it,
that'd be fun. That'd be fun. I'm probably at work though, but
Well, it might be a bit
I'll
early.
say that.
It might be
Ooh.
if we win it. Keir Starmer's teasing that they'll do something, to celebrate it. So I say.
But no, in all seriousness, thanks, guys. Genuinely appreciate it. Had a lot
cheers,
of fun.
mate. Hey, have a good show, mate.
Thank you. Thank you,
So,
sir.
mate. Bye.
Cheers, Tom.
So it looks like we're down to 3 of us. So yeah, we're talking about the old bets have been made. 20 quids on the squids for Sunday. England winning. Well up for that. Yeah. I can't see you staying on the show if England win that Euros.
Literally, it could there'll be a situation. It could happen again, like we did last night. Literally, last seconds FC, 89th minute, the 59th second, just about to send to 60, like it was last night. Saka or someone scores an absolute screamer to win the game for England. Should be out of it. Should be like, I'm out. Got a phone call.
Mate, I reckon you should have a picture of me on a dartboard throwing darts at it, mate. Throwing darts at it.
For the entire summer then. Like,
Anyway, onwards and upwards. Let's talk about score predictions for the final. So, going to go over to you, best person, this one, because I don't think Mark's in the group still, is he?
He's a ghost, my friend. He's a complete ghost.
let's mention Scotland again.
Yeah, Billy Gilmore.
Yeah, about that. He's
Oh,
not there.
Jesus. The old voodoo dolls are coming out now.
That's when you know the Scots are desperate. Bloody hell.
Yep. So, what are you going for, best Sunday?
Whoa. Hey, you know me. Of course, I want England to win. I'm not going to pick Spain over England, no bloody way. I'm not going to do that to you. Well, to you guys, excuse me, because I live here. So.
No, you can, if that's what you believe.
No, come on, man. I'm not jammy dodger like some people, you know.
Oh! Did you say jammy dodger, sir? Did you say damn jammy dodger?
Yes, I did, my good sir. Yes, I did, my good sir. or a black pudding shirt, then.
Suit you, sir. Suit you.
Oh, come on. Yeah. You munch away. I don't mind. Munch away, please. Munch away. But yeah, let me answer your question before I get ahead of myself now. Okay. It'll be a tight game. We know it'll be a tight game. There's talent across the board, both sides. Somebody's telling me we close-knit game, so maybe. Oh God, it's tough. And they put me first one, no pressure. I'm thinking 2-1 to England, possibly. Just win, but they'll go. Hopefully, but they'll go. Be nice, just at least make it more satisfying. Just to have that. I don't know. England, this score, the other team, nothing else. Hopefully.
Cool. Ryan.
I think like Bez, I think 2-1 England. I'll also add on to that. I think Saka will have an involvement in one of the two goals. He'll either score one of the two, or he'll assist one of the two.
Cool.
And the ghost.
I just think players like Saka came, as I said earlier, players like that were here 3 years ago and went through what they went through on the pitch, and obviously with Saka and others off the pitch afterwards. I think that's gonna spur them on a bit in terms of just going, right, we want to right the wrong. They'll be in their mindset. We do not want to be this team that gets to 2 back-to-back finals and loses both.
Sounds like Rosie is jammy dodger right now.
2.0, sorry, but 2.0.
Do you know what, right? I'm sitting here thinking two things at the moment. I'm thinking, firstly, that
penalties are going to hurt you.
I was thinking 2-1. But I'm now thinking, I think it's going to be really tight. Like maybe it's just one goal in it. But then I'm thinking, because of the course of history, could this go all the way to penalties and England win it that way? That will then get rid of the whole curse forever.
Phew.
I think it's going to be a very, very tight game. But I do, as I said to you before, I think if it becomes into a tight game, I think England have got a much better chance, because I think if it becomes into that way, and we're making it like that, I think I don't think Spain are very good defensively, and it makes you laugh that the Scots are sitting there going 2-1, you're having a fucking laugh when they beat them 2-0. Like, you guys know that this Spain team can be got at. If Scott McTominay can score 2 goals against them, I'm fucking sure that Harry Kane can.
Look, again, going back to Tuesday's game against France, when they were 1-0 down to France.
France could have gone 2-0 up in that game.
Until Spain equalised, Spain looked dodgy at the back. Every time France attacked, they looked suspect. They're gone.
I'm as I said to you before, I'm not sure yet, right? When players play, like I've spoke about the youngsters, they got some quite young players, yeah, right? All our players have had experience of playing in finals. They've all played in FA Cup finals, the Euro finals, Champions League finals. You look through the team. I'll go through the team and we'll answer them right now. Jordan Pickford, he's experienced Euros final. Cole Walker's experienced everything. Do you know what I mean? John Stones has experienced everything. Luke Shaw's experienced everything. Trippier's experienced everything. Guahi's the only person in that defence who's not experienced playing in the final. Declan Rice has experienced playing in the Euros final and has gone and won the Conference League with West Ham. Yeah. Manu scored in the FA Cup final, turned up in an FA Cup final, scored. Saka has obviously played in the Euros final, got massive experience from that. Bellingham. Well, let's talk about Bellingham. He's just gone and won a Champions League medal. Right. And Phil Foden, he's gone and won it all with Man City. He's played in all them finals. Harry Kane, he's a born loser, a loser. That's why I'm going to leave it there. But Harry Kane has still played in Euro final, Champions League final. Okay, he doesn't know what it's like to come out the right end of it all. But he still experienced it. And what I'm trying to say is, right, everyone's going on about England are going to get rolled over, but these guys have got experience of playing in finals. They know what it takes to get over the line. They know what it takes to get over the line. Majority of these players. Some of these Spanish players don't know what it's like to take over the line. Yeah, they've turned up for their nation and been a breath of fresh air, but it's a totally different ball game Sunday. If England ground them down and make it ugly, I don't think they're going to like it. But we've got to stifle Ruiz and Rodri. We win that midfield battle and stop them. I believe the game's England's.
Just as you say that, as you're saying all that about the experience and all that now, 2021, when we had Italy had the experience. Then obviously look at the players they had in their backline and everything. And it's sort of role reversal now, where we got the experience, as you say, and Spain buying a couple of players, literally a couple of players in that squad. They ain't got the experience of the big, not just the big games and all, but your cup finals or this, that, and the other because of who they play for, respectively. So it could be that sort of basically where they come in and just go, we're right and wrong, but we can do it because we can not only right the wrong but we've got the experience to do it now. We've had we're here 3 years ago, and in that 3 years we've all, as you say, X, Y, and Z player have all done what they've done for their respective clubs at whatever time in that 3 year period, be it winning Conference Leagues, Champions Leagues, the multiple league titles. Kobe Mainoo just broke through this season, turns up in the FA Cup final at Wembley against arguably the best team in the world at the moment in Man City. We've got big game plays, as you say. It's like, whereas 3 years ago you could argue we were in a situation where we had one or two, like Spain have now, one or two.
Yeah,
it wasn't like bulk and put most of the squad like we've got now. So I think you got a good point. And I just think, as you're saying, I think, oh yeah, we think back 3 years back, we were in Spain's situation.
Yeah, we're in a great situation on like in terms of like the experience and what we've got, even including the manager. Like I know we've given him a lot of grief, and rightly so for most of the time, but I'll give my dibs lot on yesterday night. He got it right in the end. He made the brave substitution when he needed to, and it won him the game in normal time. So because he done that, do you know what I mean? He lives to fight another day. But you're right. 2021, we probably didn't have the experience what we've got now, and I just think if it gets to crucial moments in the game, back end of games, just like yesterday of Holland, what won it was obviously a little bit of obviously us having what we had on the bench and having much better players to bring on, but also having that experience of obviously being able to see the job through. 3 years ago, we wouldn't have scored that goal. Yeah. 3 years ago, we wouldn't have scored that goal in the 90th minute. We wouldn't have dared take Harry Kane off. But this is a totally different team now. He's proven Southgate, to be fair, one of the things that he doesn't need Harry Kane for a penalty shootout, and he doesn't need Harry Kane to win a game. He can go over and beyond to find that resolution if Harry Kane's not performing. And Kane will start Sunday, but he will have no doubt if it gets to a certain point and Kane's not producing, he will go down the road of Ollie Watkins and Tony again. And I actually think, right. And I keep going on about it, and I know like they owe. I think Kane and Foden owe us a big performance, and I still think I'm still waiting for it for Sunday. I'm still waiting for it Sunday, especially Phil Foden. I thought he was much better yesterday, and I think that would have given him a lot of confidence yesterday. And I think he's that kind of player who will turn up in the final. I really, really do. I really, really do. And if he turns up, and Saka, we know Saka's going to take the game to him. We know Saka's going to take the game to him, but. If our younger players turn up like that, like your Sakas, like your Fodens, like your Bellinghams, I don't care. There's one winner. There's one winner. I just think that we got enough resource in our armory if we need to ground a game out, and I think we proved that last night. If you're ever going to see a performance last night where we grounded it out when we was playing shit again in the last 20 minutes, that was it. So if England are very dangerous even when they're playing crap, and they haven't lost a game in this tournament still. Over everything that's all been said and done, right? England have not lost a game in this performance. They've not lost a game. And it's like at the moment, obviously, because obviously Spain are in obviously the same kind of loop of that. We've got the two best teams in terms of getting the drying up performances, meeting in a final, in my opinion. And I actually think with these two teams, they come with two different, totally different contrasts. And I think it's going to be an intriguing game of football. But if it goes down to a game, right, where we're looking at who's going to score in the last 10 minutes out of England and Spain, it's still 0-0. I'd fancy England this time round. I'd fancy England. I think they've proven it time and time again. When the games go late on, they'll turn up. And they have turned up late in games. They turned up against Switzerland. They turned up against Slovakia. They turned up against Holland last night. I think they've got enough in their resource to win a game, whether it's in that first team lineup or if it's on the bench. Like last night, you bring Cole Palmer and Harry Kane. You bring Cole Palmer and Watkins on. That wins you the game. How many teams can do that? How many teams, honestly, in this Euros can bring substitutes on and they win them the game by an assist and goal? You don't see it. You haven't seen it. Do you know what I mean? England have got the strongest squad in the tournament. And that might prove vital if we go to extra time.
Yeah.
That might prove...
I can't disagree with you even the slightest. I think you win it. I think you're going to win it.
I think there's a lot, mate. Like, you might be laughing at me Monday saying I'm deluding and everything. And, mate, I'll take the dibs, right? But I think there's so much momentum riding on England on this one now, right? In terms of the way they've won games in this tournament, the way they've saved themselves against Slovakia, mate, in the 94th minute. And I just think about the Euros 2021, they've just come off the back of losing that one, and they won't want to lose another one. Do you know what I mean? They've got the experience. We've just spoke while you're away, Mark, that we've in the whole team of England, right? There's only one player that's not experienced the final, and that's Mark Way. The rest of them have got so much experience in cup finals. They know exactly what it takes to win cup finals. And I just think that's vital going into this game.
Liam, the only thing is, see, you almost played with two number 10s in the semi-final and you did get through.
Yeah.
If you do that against Spain, Is that going to work?
I think we've got to play different. I think we're going to have to play. We'll have to adapt differently against Spain because we've got to stifle out their midfield. If we stop their midfield from playing on Sunday, I think we win the game. Because if you stop Rodri and Ruiz from playing football, yeah, right. You stop everything about them. You stop them giving the ball to like the likes of Nico Williams. He's someone that can't be left one-on-one in the game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Daniel Alma and all that. But to stop them players, yeah, right, you've literally got to stop the two centre midfielders. If you top the two centre midfielders and then you start exploiting their back four, I think you can get profit. And I'm not disrespecting you in the slightest, but you've got to beat them 2-0, mate. So you know exactly what it takes to go and beat Spain.
Yeah. Scott McTominay turned up and scored 2 fucking goals against them at Hampden. If he could do it,
and I bet you at least one of them was set piece, yeah.
No, they weren't.
I think one of them was. It was in the second game, especially. I think Scott McTominay.
Maybe the second. Yeah, maybe a second game. But even in the second game, we should have beat them. Honestly, England are going to win this by a mile. I'm not betting. But if I was going to bet, I'd be putting my money in 90 minutes England to win this.
Okay. Roger's just put a contract on your head now, by the way, for saying that.
Oh yeah, but are you gaslighting them? If England lose, will you do the show next week with Tomo Shanta hats? Samo Shanta hats.
We'll do the show.
I'll do do you know something? I'll do the show regardless if England win or lose.
You'll be on, mate. I've got no doubts about
it. I will. I'll turn up, Rosie. You ran and left me stranded last night. You left me stranded.
Well, she went on the porridge list, mate, by the way. But what's your score prediction for the final, mate?
2-1 England. 2-1 England.
So there's 4 England. Obviously, we were going to have to go for England, 2 of us. So obviously, everyone's all of us gone for an England win. Obviously, in the chat, Rosie's gone for a Spain win. And that she said 2-1. You're having a fucking laugh. But look, all the talk's over now, innit? Like we get to Sunday. This is the last game of the Euros tournament. We finally get to see whether football does finally come home in England, win their first European Championships, or is it another story yet again of coming so close but so far with a painful exit? And that is literally where we sit now in terms of obviously England. The performances haven't been great on the pitch, but you know what? It is a results-orientated business, and how much grief we have given the team at times and stick. They've stuck in there, they've rose above it, and they've grounded out wins when you probably thought it was gone. And yeah,
can I give you my porridge list, by the way?
Yeah, you can give me your porridge before we go, mate.
Yeah, Rosie, you're on my porridge list for dessert on last night.
That's 3 of us now. That's 3 out of 4. She got porridge. She got on the porridge list.
Yeah, Rosie, you left me stranded last night. Honestly, it was almost like Rangers going bust in 2012. It was deserted. The company had went under. It was like gone, run right out the window.
So Rosie is our porridge list winner of this week. So I'm sure Monday it's going to be an interesting one. Monday, it's going to be a goddamn interesting one Monday. So yeah, guys, just obviously want to say thank you to everyone. So obviously thanks, Ryan, and I'll see you Sunday, mate. But obviously you're back live tomorrow night.
Yeah, the girls are playing in their Euro qualifier to the penultimate game of the qualifying round at home to the Republic of Ireland. So we'll be covering that tomorrow night. I think it's 7. I think it's 7 o'clock. Around 7:30. I'll be going live for that. But yeah, I'll be covering that game, and hopefully the girls ride the crest of the wave of side of things and put themselves one step closer. Put it in their hands, really, one game to go in terms of qualifying, because obviously the other 2 teams they're going up against for the top 2 spot, the other 2 are playing each other. So something's got to give there. So long as we do our job, we put it in our hands for going to the last game. for the top 2 spot. So yeah, as I say, we're doing that, and then Saturday is a day off completely, and then as I say, we're back on Sunday, nice and early as well.
Come on, Spain! Come on!
Might even go live an hour before kickoff just to get things going.
Oh.
Yes.
And see Saka's number behind Ryan's head as well. There you go.
Yeah, Decky boy, mate. Decky boy.
Side.
All Arsenal, mate. All Arsenal.
I'll be dancing. Honestly, I'm coming on. I'm going to be doing Spanish jigs, the whole lot.
You better get bring your sangria with you as well.
I'm going to. It's
Sangria,
coming,
the
boys.
paella,
It's
everything.
coming. Do you think it's coming home? My banter is going to be full flow on Sunday.
You never know.
Thank you very much, Bessie, for coming on, mate.
Thank you, man. If I get any brown heavy loaves, please let me know, yeah, for Sunday. Just let me know.
Absolutely, mate. Absolutely. And Mark, thank you very much again, mate. Always a pleasure, never a chore.
Yeah, thanks, mate. I appreciate it. Honestly, I appreciate you guys' time.
And obviously, just thank you, everyone in the chat. Hope you all have a good weekend. Have a quiet one leading up to Sunday. Don't do nothing I wouldn't do. Yeah, I'm going to get absolutely pissed all weekend. And I can rest assured by Sunday night by 8:00, mate, I'm going to be as arrogant as ever. Yeah, the cigar. I need to get cigar and champagne ready, don't I? Cigar and champagne.
Get
Do you know, William?
Order that T-shirt as well. Don't forget to order that T-shirt.
What was he gone?
Yeah, William actually said, sorry, can you still hear me?
Yeah.
I actually said, I think last week, there's a tweet that came out, and it's quite right, that Scottish, Irish, and Welsh people do not hate English people in any kind of way. We do not want to see you suffer in any kind of way. If you're a fan of English football, we do love that as well. See, the only thing that we dislike, and the main thing, is the media in England. The arrogance, the racists, and all the rest of it. So, the big respect, and honestly, I won't take the piss too much if you lose, and I will be here to congratulate you if you win.
Thank you very much, mate. Thank you very much. And on that note, yeah, sorry, go on.
No, I was going to say to Mark, because I live near East London, so let's be happy, yeah.
And on that note, guys, Ollie, Ollie, Ollie. Oi, oi, oi.